Mr Speaker, families in Rochdale are also deeply concerned about reports that Reform-led Lancashire County Council are considering cuts to nursery funding. This would raise costs for working parents and might even force some nurseries to close. If this is an example of the sort of efficiencies that Reform are considering, then all of Lancashire, indeed all of us, should be worried. So would the Prime Minister join me in asking Lancashire County Council to think?
So do you know what a Reform government will do? Well, on day one, we will get rid of the Equalities Department. We will scrap the Equalities Minister. Yeah, I'm doing myself out of the job. And we will repeal the Equality Act. Because we are going to work to build a country defined by meritocracy, not tokenism. Personal responsibility, not victimhood. Excellence, not mediocrity. And unity, not division.
Can I just say how shocking it is that Reform are suggesting that we tear up the Equalities Act? This is decades of protection and goes to basic values, one of which is, should women be treated equally as men, as men? That is core. That is British. That is something that was fought for, the right for women to be treated equally with men. And to say, for Reform to say, no more, it'll now, under their watch, be all right to go back to the old days where women were not treated equally. I shudder to think what any of the women watching this would think of someone who says, I want to rip up the proposition that women should be treated equally with.
If you are voting for Reform UK as a working class person or a woman, you are voting against yourself. This is where they're at. The only thing that they have is a divisive culture war. So they are trying to get you, a white working class person, to hate brown working class people, when the only problem we have is that billionaires and corporations register overseas so that they don't pay tax here, but they benefit from our workers being on minimum wage and the infrastructure in which their businesses run. So if you want to vote for billionaires, go ahead, vote for Reform UK. But if you want to vote for working class people, check this out.
I'm going to say this. So what?
You described yourself as a sexist.
Allegedly.
You're denying that was a tweet by you.
Some of the things.
He made degrading comments about women. He wrote, women can't ref, drive or give directions, and then declared, I'm sexist. Sorry, but I am.
He's a self-admitted sexist. He slates British women, saying you walk around with your bellies out, pushing your prams, but if it was a European, you would take a bazooka to get me off them.
He said that women who have abortions want to sleep with anyone they want and that they treat it as a secondary last form of contraception.
That's a disgrace.
Do you know what I'd say to that? I'd say, so what?
Let me explain this to you in a way that even a 4-year-old would be able to comprehend. But if you live in the UK and they succeed in scrapping the Equality Act of 2010, the majority of you watching this video right now as I speak will be fucked. You see, the Equality Act of 2020 is quite simple. It protects every single person in this country from discrimination, from things like housing, jobs, education, services, basically everything you need in a society to function. Furthermore, if you do face discrimination, it protects you if it happens through 9 different characteristics. These of which include race, sexual orientation, religion, disability, gender, marital status, all of that type of stuff. So basically, it makes it illegal to treat people worse purely because of who they are. And Reform UK want to get rid of that. If you think that you are safe just because you have blue eyes or blonde hair, then I have some really bad news to tell you, because if you are a woman, for example, in the UK, then your rights will not be protected if the Equality Act is revoked. Your rights, your jobs, everything you hold dear in this godforsaken country will be on the chopping block if the Equality Act of 2010 is revoked. And I really fear that a lot of you don't even realize how much this act protects you in your everyday life. And I pray to God seriously that you guys realize what's up before it's too late.
If you don't think, they will think for you. If you don't cry for peace, they will come for you. They'll love you today, they'll have you confused. If you don't cry for